Welcome, Internet. This is the Foolish Tech Show. We are here to answer your questions about support and anything else you might have a question about. Otherwise, we'll fill some time with some interesting topics we like to go over. If you're joining us from Google Plus or YouTube, you can jump over to foolishtechshow.com or foolishit.com/live, and you can join our live chat there, our IRC chat, and talk directly with us there. And we'll answer your questions live on the air here. So feel free to jump over there. And otherwise, today I think we're going to go over DD-WRT, getting that on a Linksys WRT-54G. And
yeah. Howdy, Internet.
Howdies.
There we are.
I just wanted to mention that the show is about supporting Foolish IT products, so we're going to do that first and foremost. If you're in the chat and you have a question or a problem or a concern, let us know right now or as soon as it pops into your head. And we'll stop what we're doing and get to that as soon as we get a good stopping point, because that's what we're really here for. This other stuff is just filler to keep you entertained and coming back, so you will eventually learn something about the Foolish IT products or things that you don't know about otherwise, like DD-WRT if you don't know about that. So take her away, Brantley.
Yeah, and I think it's important because, I mean, we are all still techs, and that's how most of our products got started, is because we were using them and doing things in the tech world, and it evolved into something we realized we needed a product for, and then we became products for them. But
I know, and here we are.
Yeah, all this other stuff is like stuff that got us to that point. So, and people have expressed interest in some of the ideas and topics that we've gone over. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, and not everybody knows everything too. It's awesome to have a show, even on something that some people might consider it simple, but remember, a lot of our audience, we have audience of all kinds of. We have crypto prevent users, grandmas who are trying to protect their PCs, and while we're not catering to them with this show, we've got brand new techs. So we're here for all skill levels as well as experience. So.
And looks like Undertaker is in the chat. Howdy.
Yo, Undertaker!
He also says howdy, Internets. So, Internets, welcome him. Alright, so yeah, today we're going to go over DD-WRT, and for anyone that doesn't know what that is, basically it's a kind of a custom firmware for your wireless router.
Do you know what it stands for, by the way?
No, do you?
No. I imagine the W has something to do with wireless, the R is probably radio, and the T may even be technology, but I have no idea what the rest of it is.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
I don't know what it's out there for either. Phoenix PC Repair is in the IRC chat as well. Howdy, how's it going? We are doing good. So yeah, the DD-WRT is basically like a customized router OS. Very much, but when you buy a router, it already has the software installed on it, and you normally just go in and change some settings on it. But what this does is it actually gives you more power and control and features that the manufacturer just was too lazy to include in their software, and it also updates more than your manufacturer's router firmware. Because a lot of things that happen, like this one that we're talking about, the one that Tank is actually using right now, it's got to be at least 10 years old, probably, right? How old are you? Yeah. So 10-year-old router, that manufacturer, Linksys, doesn't care about that router anymore. They're not going to be putting out any updates if there's any huge security flaws or issues with it. So Tank's pretty much stuck at buying a new router when it may be that the hardware is more than suited enough for what he has. I mean, he has only one person getting on his internet. He just wants to be able to access it wirelessly around his house, and I'm sure that one covers the range that you need it to, Tank.
Yeah, the only shot is wirelessly out of the room because I've got walls in between everything. But it doesn't really take away. It doesn't take away the signal, but I know in the back of the house at least the signal's a little weaker, and so in the very front of the house because the router's right about in the middle.
So Undertaker, but you're still getting signal and you can get on the internet. Yeah. Normally dropping a few bars doesn't kill your internet.
And some of the other things I have in the house are hardwired, so they don't really have that problem.
Says he knows what the DD and WRT stands for. He says that the DD are the German license plate number letters for all the cars from Dresden, Germany, where the Brain Slayers development team lived. So that's the people that primarily focus on the DD-WRT and releasing firmware, and that the WRT is for wireless routers, which close there, Nick. It was just router was the R and T.
Oh, router, not radio technology. I don't know. Router, RT. What's the extra? It should be RTR, WDD, WRTR.
And Proctor actually noted that you can purchase wireless routers that have this pre-installed on it, so it's not like you can't get this already done. I do like to note that it is a little bit more advanced sometimes to get it on your router, and it may be that your router is not supported. So if you're interested in doing this, you definitely want to make sure before you go out and purchase something if it's compatible with it, and we'll go over the router database here in a second so that you can search it and look it up and see if your router will be compatible with it. Like I know the router I have at home, I didn't check it beforehand, and I found out that it is supported, but it's actually the hardware revision is not supported. And people have tried it and gotten it to work, but not being supported makes it even more difficult to get it on there. And there are times and cases where trying to do this could brick your device, and usually that's not going to be covered under a manufacturer's warranty, so you basically have just wasted whatever investment and money you have on that. So definitely recommend to do a lot of your own research, make sure everything's compatible, make sure you understand the process beforehand, definitely follow any instructions that you find on it almost to the T, and double check just so you make sure that you don't end up without with hardware that's worthless. So Undertaker also said he's been planning to hack the TP-Link routers with DD-WRT, and that's one of the good options there is you can get one of the I think TP-Link has been one of the cheaper price router hardwares out there, so you can not put a lot of investment into it and then still play around with it, and if you mess it up it's not too bad, but you might be able to get some more power and features out of it. I definitely know you would get a lot of more features out of it. So that's the cool thing about that, and I actually have it on my Linksys WRT-54G at home. So that is actually probably the standard one. If you know anybody or have one of those laying around still, that's probably your best one to start off with, so highly recommend that. I'm going to go ahead and post in the chat the router database, and essentially what you'll do is you'll look on the bottom of your router, you'll have a model number. If you just type that into that router database, it'll start searching and show you hardware revision numbers, and you can click on it and find out more information about it, and then find out what you'll need to load. And usually it'll give you some documentation to point to there. The other good route to find out about it is to just search Google or your favorite search engine for your router's model number, and then DD-WRT. DD-WRT will probably be the best search term. Then you'll find out if it is supported. People will probably have posted walkthroughs about walking through installing your specific one. You will want to note things like your hardware revisions, because normally your routers will have different hardware revisions. So that's important to keep in mind. Like I said, my router at home has, I think I'm on like the G version of the router, and A, B, D, E, and F are all supported by DD-WRT, but the G version is not, and there have been talks about it is compatible with the same thing that the D version or B version, one of them, basically like it, people have said that you can get away with using the other hardware version and following those same instructions and getting the same thing. But in my case, I don't even really need it, because I just turned it into an access point.
And there's one downside to that, is there are potential, since they're not optimized for those versions, to certain features to not be implemented or not work correctly. There's the potential
Very
for
true.
that if you use that. So that's something to take into consideration. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, very true. So yeah, there's a lot of things to keep in mind, but it definitely, if you have an extra router laying around and you want to play with it, doesn't hurt checking out, see if it's supported, and then trying to get it on there yourself. So, Tank, were you able to look at the bottom of your router and find out which model number exactly, and if you have a version hardware revision number?
Hold on, I got it here.
Okay. Because the WRT-54G, it was a very good router overall, and it went through several versions and hardware revisions. And
You mentioned that you mentioned
4GV5.
There was a V7 and 8, I think. You also mentioned, and they all had like way different chipsets. The I'm sorry, but past V4 they sucked. They did.
And they changed the amounts of RAM, and they did all sorts of other things.
And you also couldn't
to
get
make it difficult for them to be
DD-WRT on some of them, like some of those revisions. You may be able to now.
Exactly.
But they had different chipsets. So, in case, I also wanted to point out the WRT-54GL. Brantley, which was released with double the RAM and specifically intended for DD-WRT.
Yeah, surprisingly, the only time I think that they released a revision.
The L stood for Linux.
Purpose. Yes, they sold it. There was, and it would cost, if you bought it off the shelf that way, it would cost a lot more. It was
about the mid-performing chip from the 54G line, and it had the like double memory or something.
It would cost a lot more, but the point is it was guaranteed to work with something like that versus, buying one and hoping that your revision was supported.
Oh, thank you. Someone's got a link.
Well, I posted the link in there for the 54G one, and that one does have the GL on here, and it's actually, it looks like
they go up to version 8.
Yeah, version 7 was the one that has the Atheros chip in it, and it probably will never be supported. They do have the L version, and there was one I just saw on here that has Linux already installed on it, and you wouldn't have to worry about it. Oh, I don't see it anymore. Oh, well. But anyway, so Tank, you said
typically those are more expensive, right? The ones that have them pre-installed, correct? As a general rule of thumb, Brantley?
I don't know. We'll look into that once we walk through this a little bit, because we're going to look at going out and purchasing new routers. Because it may be that, because right now what Tank was reporting was that he has to unplug and plug his router in almost on a daily basis, which normally indicates a wireless router is going bad. But it could just be that it needs a fresh firmware flash, and this will clear up some issues and give them some more options.
Well, you know what, though, actually, the DD-WRT firmware comes with an option that most of your stock, actually all of your stock firmware does not, and that is automatically reboot the router. Back when I had the WRT-54G, I had I think I had a version 3 or 4, and I had a version 6, like Tank has. It was actually Michelle's, if you remember her, Tank, but it was a piece of crap. I'm sorry, but there were different versions of the 6 too, as you can see in the. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. Where was I going with that?
So was the goal to purchase the DD-WRT router for Tank?
No, we're talking about him.
I'm sorry, but I guess my point is that no, I never fixed the issue of it needing to be power cycled all the time. But what I did do was use DD-WRT firmware to configure its setting to configure it to reboot the router automatically every night at 4 a.m. That way, I had a fresh boot every morning, and.
Well, if you don't have the hardware,
hardware,
it can make it work, and so there's a lot of advantages.
Yeah. It just worked better throughout the day, and that is probably the most awesome feature ever. Because even my router now doesn't support it, and I don't have custom firmware on it. I'm ashamed almost, but if I did, I would have that setting enabled. I mean,
so. Yeah. Would it be accurate to say too that you do at times you can with DD-WRT, depending upon what you have configured and what the services you have running and stuff like that with it and all the options, is it ever going to create a higher heat situation than the stock firmware?
I think if you crank up the transmit power a bunch, I mean,
that will certainly.
You can overclock it and increase the transmit power, which both of those will increase your heat output.
Well, by the way, people, increasing the transmit power may seem to help a little bit, but don't forget you can't really increase the receive power so much because you got to worry about the transmit power on your device too.
Yeah,
anyway, I'm just throwing
very good points.
That's why I don't usually mess with that. I mean, you can crank it up a tad, but it's not really beneficial beyond that.
But yeah, I mean, you obviously can't fix a hardware issue through software so much, although the automatic reboot seems to be a viable solution.
That's the best. Yeah.
But do some research, and you can avoid then having those issues if that's the route you plan to go. So.
All right. So, Tank, did you say it was the 54G version 5?
Yeah, V5.
Okay, perfect.
What's on the bottom?
So we'll look at this page, which will give you the details on doing that. Now, the one thing you do want to point out here is you are going to want to make sure that you have your computer that you're going to do this with plugged directly into your router. So you want to make sure you're hardwired during all of this process.
Okay, I'll have to do this from...
Yeah, don't wirelessly upgrade from wherever.
To the TV in the living room then.
Yeah. So don't do this right now because you'll drop out.
I'm not on a hardwired computer anyways.
Interestingly enough, Unify's access points, when they upgrade their firmware, they only do it wirelessly, which is is totally against what I would generally recommend.
The last time I did a wireless upgrade of my firmware was I think it was Tomato. And it did fry my firm. No, it was. I was trying to get Tomato on, and I couldn't get Tomato on, but the suggestion was to do DD-WRT first, because the process worked, and then you could get Tomato on from there. But DD-WRT flashing my Linksys over the wireless, it bricked it pretty good.
Ouch.
Like beyond fixing, I think that one was.
So for this one, and I want to say this was the same one that version I have at home and have set up. So I do know it can be done, Tank. So it looks like there are a few steps on it, and there are. But
yes, I would say there's a few.
It is possible, and like I said, at the worst, if you're already looking at investing in a new router, then trying this out won't be a bad thing. Plus, you may have the option, which I do on mine, turning it into a wireless extender, so you could actually extend the range to other places and set up a wireless bridge even. So there's lots of options you can play around with afterwards.
Well, I trust if he does go down this path that someone will be helping him, do the reset up of it, because he's not going to be familiar with DD-WRT, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
So it looks like they said that you actually should only have that one device hooked up through the Ethernet cable. So don't have any of your other hardwired devices hooked up at the time. Just that one system and the power. And they say you do really need to create a custom VX image for your router. Otherwise, you'll get a generic MAC address, and most ISPs won't let you connect if you have a generic MAC address on your router. So that'll pretty much be what it'll walk you through here. But let's go ahead and kind of go in an overview, because, like I said, it does look like there's a few steps
important. 30-30-30 is important to understand what that implies and what that means, particularly for that option there. So yeah.
Yep. So the first thing you would want to do is go to this thread and download the zip files for the GV5 flash zip. And malware warnings, you can ignore it. Reading this announcement, we'll go ahead and check it out here. I'm pretty sure it just says be careful. Yeah, so you can read all of this. I really don't think you need to read all this, though. You might find some good information here, so you might want to just peruse over it. If you don't understand what it's saying, then don't worry about it. But the big thing is going here. What?
I said that's always one way to look at it. I don't understand it. Never mind.
Yeah. I've done this one before. That's pretty much what I did. So I think you should be fine on that. So it looks like for the first step, you'll just come here and download this file. And you can see that it's been downloaded 310,000 times, so it's fairly well respected.
I don't know about that.
Then you have to do a hard reset on the router, and that's where this 30-30-30 comes in. And Michael, do you want to explain that, since you were so enthusiastic about it? No?
Wow, that's good explanation.
Yeah.
No. Wait, sorry. I was on mute. I was on mute and I was responding. So basically, there's a lot of different ways to, if you've ever had to reset a consumer router at home, probably any two techs probably does it a slightly different way, and it's usually based upon what they were initially familiar with maybe a personal router that they were involved in. But there are differences between how you reset a device, and to be thorough, the 30-30-30 method, I believe, is the one that's recommended for most devices, and that's basically I really would like to look at a reference to it. Let me see. Hold on. To make sure I'm not explaining.
Oh, wait.
Basically, hold in.
What do you think it is before you go look into references?
Okay, so
before I go.
So at any rate, you the normal procedure is typically to what is it? To power off the device, then power back on, holding in the reset button for 30 seconds. And then waiting another 30 seconds or something like that. I don't know, but it's 30 seconds. It's all 30 seconds, though, isn't it?
Yeah, good job. 30-30-30. Picked up on that one.
Well, no, but I mean, it has to do with how you power cycle the device and how long you hold in the thing.
So, hold on.
But I didn't. It's been a while since I've done it. Sorry,
Michael. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's you hold in the reset button for 30 seconds, you unplug it for 30 seconds, then you plug it back in while holding the reset button for another 30 seconds. And we'll double check it on this
Yeah, it's on the
form here, 'cause
site.
I would've
Yeah.
said that.
Do you have the actual link? I do. If you need it, I got to start up my. Um, You go ahead and post it, but I have it. It's
It's right
yeah.
here.
Without the unit power on, press and hold the reset button on back of unit for 30 seconds. Without releasing the reset button, unplug the unit and hold the reset button for another 30 seconds. Plug the unit back in, still holding the reset button, a final 30 seconds. Please note that this step can put an ASUS device into recovery mode, blah, blah, blah. So, but that's generally the method that they're recommending, and they specifically reference in the documentation that Brantley's describing. And if I can just minimize some windows here, I'll get that in a link for you shortly.
Okay. So yeah, and that's basically what I said is you hold the reset button for 30 seconds, unplug it, holding it for 30 seconds, then plug it back in, holding the button still for 30 seconds. So that's that step.
Why can't I join the chat? Is that me, or is that you?
Yeah, I don't know, because you don't know how to enter it.
Well, I've done it every other day, so I don't know. All right. Anyway, you're going to have
It
to post the link.
changes depending on the day. You have to keep up with these things, dude.
Yeah. It doesn't, but.
Updates, fool!
He just needs to format his computer.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, well, just go ahead with the process and procedure,
All
and
right,
please
well,
post the
can I
link for the
finish?
30-30-30.
Can I finish?
Yes.
Can I finish?
I'm sorry I opened my mouth as usual. It's always my first mistake.
Was that Dana Carvey? Was that Dana Carvey?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Him imitating Ross Perot.
Yeah.
Can I finish? 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 Can I finish?
The good old days.
Can I finish? All right. So after you do the hard reset on there, basically it sets your modem back or your router back to full defaults. The next bit on here is you have to set your computer to a static IP. Tink, what version of Windows do you have on that computer?
The other one, it's still Vista.
Vista? Okay.
Yeah.
So that one, I think I can show you here. Let me. This isn't Vista, obviously, what I'll be showing you here, but this will be the same exact procedure that you'll do on Vista. So if you're able to see my screen here. Are you still able to see my screen, by the way?
Yes.
Is it showing a Windows 7 box? Or is it still showing the... Are you seeing Windows logo right now? Okay. I didn't know how it would handle with the remote desktop thing. So on Vista and Windows 7, process is basically the same. You'll come down to your network icon here, right-click on it, and do Open Network and Sharing Center. You'll click on your local area connection. That'll be your hardwire. Then you'll go to Properties and Internet Protocol version 4, TCP/IP, and you'll do what I did here, where you'll just click the use the following IP address and DNS server. You can actually leave the DNS server blank. All you would need to put in is that 192.168.1.7, 255.255.255.0. And that should be it, and you can hit OK. If you have to put in a gateway, I would put in 192.168.1.1. And then when you hit OK, OK, close, it'll be set to a static IP there. So what am I banging out or beeping here? Oh, I don't need to read any of that on air. So.
You're not beeping as far as we can tell.
No, I was beeping on my computer from y'all posting things in the chat here.
Oh, I didn't hear it, sorry.
Yeah,
even though I was the one typing it. But
yeah, you're the one posting to me here.
no, but I mean, I couldn't hear it through the feedback. In other words, so I doubt anybody else heard it.
No, I know they didn't. I was just saying. Never mind. Anyway, you got this part, so that shouldn't be too bad. But then you're gonna already probably have your Ethernet cable connected to the LAN port, so that should be all good there. You don't really have to turn off any firewalls or wireless. That's not that big of an issue, honestly. You'll unzip the file that you downloaded. Basically, just unzip it to your desktop. Then you'll unzip the VX image tool GUI to the same place. I don't know if that's in that same file or if it's in the same form. Let's see. Yeah, so that's in that. You'll unzip everything that's in here, and then you'll have it all on the desktop. So you'll be good there. And then you'll start that VX image tool GUI, and looks like you want to make sure the top button is left on WRT-54G, and make sure it is just the 54G, not the GS, it says.
This is complicated than usual. More complicated than usual.
Put the MAC address in. So on the bottom of your router, it'll have a MAC address, and you'll just put that same one in.
And this is what you were referring to earlier as far as not have a generic MAC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, this is going to customize the image and put it for your router's MAC address. So, and then you'll click on the three dots next to output image and save the file to your desktop as well. So that is, it sounds complicated, and honestly, if you do it, it's going to be a lot easier. Power cycling the router, basically just unplug it for 30 seconds and plug it back in. Then once it's back up, you'll go to a browser and open 192.168.1.1. So just in Chrome, just typing in 192.168.1.1, hitting enter will open up your the page that it's about to ask us for. And you'll get to a Linksys web GUI, and if you do for some reason see something that says management mode, you just want to unplug it, leave it off for 30 seconds, plug it back in again.
I know some of these things sound repetitive, but they actually, each step is incredibly important, so I would encourage none of you out there to take any shortcuts with them and to follow it just like the 30-30-30 process. You know, with some routers, some people believe that it could be done quicker. Don't take the shortcuts.
Yeah, I do highly recommend just following each of these steps, even if you just want to print this out, Tank. Obviously, make sure you download those things beforehand. But basically, when you browse to that page, you'll get a username and password prompt. So you'll say root is the username, admin is the password. Go down to the administration section and click firmware upgrade. Then you'll browse to that this file, and again, that's one of those files in that zip that you extracted to your desktop. And you'll start that one first. So you'll wait for 5 minutes. Don't touch it for 5 minutes, and that is very important that you just leave it for 5 minutes. If you want to set a kitchen timer beside it, do that. Once it's gone through 5 full Earth minutes, so make sure it is Earth-based units you're working with.
I'll have to reset my Mars clock.
Yeah. Can't use the Mars clock there. Power cycle the router again, so unplug it, plug it back in. Then you'll go back to that same page. Blank window, you'll just have to clear your browser cache, which if you're in Chrome, just going to be your more tools, clear browsing data. and make sure you have cached images and files checked and beginning at time. Otherwise, you'll then pick out that image that you created. So when you were up here and you did the output file, you'll get this My54G image bin. You'll select that one and hit apply to hit the upgrade. You'll end up seeing the upgrade success, and once you see that, you want to wait another 5 minutes. Again, wait the full 5 minutes.
Earth minutes.
Yep, Earth minutes. Once that's done, you're not going to power cycle it, so note that you don't unplug it after this 5 minutes. Very important there. You will just go ahead and start up the last program that's in that zip file, and you'll run it. It's tftp.exe. And in that one, you'll just follow these couple steps, put in that IP address, no password. You'll select this file, which again is out of that zip file that you downloaded here. So you got the TFTP and that micro bin firmware. Then you'll set it to retry for 99 times. Now you will unplug the router and plug it back in. Count to 2. And do you need me to go over that bit?
No, I'm pretty clear on that part.
Wait, how to count? Did you actually ask them to count?
That's the one where I stop right before I get to 3, right?
Got it. Got it. I knew you did. You got it. So then you just hit the upgrade button on there. When you get a success on there, again, wait the 5 minutes. If you don't get a success, repeat from up here. So pretty much, if you don't get a success, power cycle the router again, count to 2, hit upgrade. And you can also, if you still don't get a success, try clearing your browser cache again and then trying it again. There have been times that I've noticed that Internet Explorer actually works better for this process. So that may be something to keep in mind. You may just want to use Internet Explorer to do this whole process. I should have mentioned that at the beginning, but honestly I didn't remember it until they said try using a different browser. So
it is a good point. You know, and if you can help me explain that, because, like, for instance, I have this issue with login pages too, and it seems to be very inconsistent in how, whether Chrome or Firefox or, you know, it seems if you're ever in a trap, use IE, and I'm not talking about Edge now.
Johnny got hurt. Can we show this before we leave the show? I mean, it's getting late. I mean, we don't have to do it right this minute, but if you remind me before we're done, the footage.
Oh,
yeah, sure. Oh yeah, the drone footage.
Nice.
Yeah, I was just reviewing it, and I saw Johnny got taken out by those waves, man, because she was wearing pajama pants, and that had to be cold out there.
Yeah. So we'll look at that. We're almost done with this. I just want to show off the interface after we get through these steps.
Awesome.
But basically, the thing with the different browsers is they each process things a little bit differently. How they look at a login box is a little bit different. How they look at a upload button is a little bit different for each of the browsers sometimes. And I actually had a D-Link router that I was trying to load DD-WRT on, and for the life of me, I spent, I'd say, probably at least 8 hours trying to get it to work. And I was using Chrome and then Firefox, and then finally I fell back to Internet Explorer. Worked the first time, no problems, just great. So
after 8 hours, I'd have done hit something with a hammer.
Yeah, I have a little bit more patience than that, but so yeah, I would say probably just start off using Internet Explorer, and then if you have problems with that one, switch over to Chrome and then possibly Firefox. But usually using Internet Explorer, you shouldn't have any issues going forward with it. When you navigate to 192.168.1.1, you should get the DD-WRT interface and log in. And once you get that, you can power cycle your router again. And then looks like you want to make sure you can get to that page again, and then do another hard reset. And that would be the 30-30-30 thing. So holding the reset button down for 30 seconds, unplugging it, holding the button down for 30 seconds, plugging it back in while still holding the button down for another 30 seconds, and then let it boot up. And then you should be able to access that page again. And then for the last step, you want to hook your modem back into the WAN port, and then probably unplug your modem, unplug your router, plug your modem back in, let it get all its lights, and then plug the router back in. And Undertaker said he's not impatient, but the 4-pound hammer gets a good workout. So they do have a few more problems and workarounds here. This one looks like it's for the V6 one, so you shouldn't have that much of an issue with it. They also have some interesting but nonsense notes on the version 5, it looks like. But I would say you really wouldn't have to worry about it. Like I said, this is pretty much what I remember about the process I did. And although it seems complicated and complex from what just explaining it to you, if you're actually doing the process, it makes it so much easier. It really is a lot easier than what it makes it sound here. And
yeah,
then,
if you were able to put together that chair, the chair that John sent us, you can do this.
Yeah.
Believe me. Yeah.
It's a chair.
I know, but I'm saying it's not
It's
really
a
more
chair.
complicated.
You know how
It's
easy
not really
chairs I
it's
put
just
together
a
in my mind?
firmware flash. That's just as easy.
exactly. It truly is. If you follow all the steps, and don't leave out a screw and don't leave out a tool, and follow all of them thoroughly, you'll just as good.
But I mean, even going through this, it's really not that many steps. You hard reset the router, doing all that stuff we talked about, set your IP, go to the router, upload something, create a version to use, then upload that, then reset it and do it again.
And bring out the special chrome-plated 10-pound hammer.
That's when that one. But it should go through pretty smoothly. When I did it on my 54G, I didn't have any issues. It went through perfect the first time, so really should not cause you that many problems. And this is what you'll end up with. So this is my DD-WRT on my 54G. Nick, that is right in our ear.
Sorry, man. I thought I was muted. My bad.
For mine,
Worse.
mine looks a little bit different here because what I've actually done is set this up as a wireless bridge. So what I have at my house is I have my modem hooked into my wireless router, or actually right now I have my modem hooked into my internet gateway hooked into my router. My router is set as a access point only, so all it's doing is providing LAN access on the 5 ports, and then the wireless is accessing the LAN as well. Then I have my DD-WRT box in the other room halfway across the house, and it's set up right now as a wireless bridge. So what it does is it connects wirelessly to my main router, and then other devices can connect to its wireless, and they can get out to the internet through there. That does cause a speed decrease, but if you can't get wireless signal out there, it's better to have half the speed than no speed at all. So the speed decrease is obviously because your device is connecting wirelessly, then that is connecting wirelessly to another wireless router, and
There's
then
two
going
connections
out to the
going on at the same time, basically, instead of one.
So this is the basic interface. I mean, pretty much everything should be mostly already configured and ready for you. There really shouldn't be anything that you'll have to do there, Tank, besides probably go into your wireless section here and set your wireless password and wireless name.
There's no way to make that any bigger?
Yeah, I could.
There we go. Yeah, it's just kind of hard. It was hard to see there.
But mine, like I said, I have it set up as a repeater bridge right now. Yours will be in AP mode. And basically all you'll have to do is type in the network name there, and then you can go over to security and set the password. I'm not going to click on that because I am not positive that it hides it by default.
I believe, based upon what it's based upon, that it does.
Yeah.
I would bet that it does, but
You do have some more advanced features that you can go in here and turn on if you wanted to do that. For your case, I really would say you don't really have to worry about it. But yeah, those I wouldn't even worry about.
one step at a time. Like, for instance, the first step after the upgrade is just getting your base connectivity reestablished, and then you might, take and then dive into some of the more advanced option, because there is a lot more to DD-WRT. So I would take it as slow and make single changes at a time to avoid, taking, or breaking your network and then not knowing which setting it was that did that.
Yeah.
So my two cents.
I did like this feature of DD-WRT is it has a my ad network. You can join this advertising place, and basically what this does, especially if you're in like a Brantley.
I lost you there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You were saying that option there will allow you to generate revenue based upon advertising to a guest or otherwise public hotspot that you might offer?
Yeah, so basically you can turn your wireless router into offering a wireless, an open wireless network, and people that join that wireless network have to see ads injected, and you get money off of each ad that they see. So it doesn't pay you out until you get $25. So, I mean, at the worst, you get $25 for just sharing your internet. That can almost pay for your internet there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, a lot of people don't realize that, but is there any drawbacks to that, or anything people should be aware of when doing it? I mean, this won't affect their network in any way. This will just affect their guest network that they're browsing. And
well, it would cause the fact that your internet would be being used by other people.
It would be slower, of course.
Would have less speed. Plus, if people are out there,
you are getting money from doing that. So
yeah, but the other side is if people are out there illegally watching things on Genesis and not doing VPNs or any of that stuff,
so there is
your internet will get a DMCA.
You would be responsible. I mean, it would, even if you didn't actually commit those actions, you would be responsible for that. Yep. So legally. So please take that into consideration. That is something that needs to be,
So like I can overclock my router here, so make it process packets faster. I was looking for that automatic reset thing that Nick said. I have seen that thing before too. So
I have too.
Years
and years ago.
Yeah, you found it. Yeah.
You can schedule a reboot in seconds, or you can pick a specific date and time, and it'll automatically reboot it.
Hey, go ahead. Oh, are you on tax?
No, this is mine.
Oh. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, go ahead and set that thing with puppy to reset.
Yeah, but no, see, this would be the great benefit here for you, Tank. Even if you didn't use any of the other features here, you'd not have to unplug your router every day. It would just do it for you.
Well, it's not every day yet, but
Okay, but it's getting close.
Well, yeah, but the convenience of this thing doing itself every day means that you don't have to worry about doing it every 2 or 3.
Also, another side effect of this,
Usually.
rebooting it, there's other benefits to rebooting I just want to go into. For instance, you'll be more likely to potentially get an IP address quicker, potentially. Isn't that possible?
You'll also
You
have
know,
a fresh start.
Possibly, yeah.
yeah, so it may keep you a little bit more dynamic with your external IP, and that could provide some measure of increased security. And it's a moot point, I'm sure, but I don't know, worth mentioning.
Yeah. Undertaker said he would have to move to where people are to take advantage of the hotspot thing, and yeah, that's what I was saying. If you're in an apartment complex, it's probably the best route. Otherwise, you're going to end up having people. Yeah, you're going to have people end up parking out in front of your house using your open internet, which will happen because I've done that before.
Okay, so how does quick question. Let's say you offer a bed and breakfast, or let's say you even have a hotel and you have public Wi-Fi internet access, and somebody gets in the hotel and they start streaming all sorts of illegal stuff and what have you. What sort of legal obligations are for those hotel owners?
They have things called safe harbors. I don't know the specifics of it, but that's how people can operate Tor exit nodes and not be responsible for what traffic comes in and out of them.
Okay, so some sort of law like that would protect those people.
I want to say it has to apply to a business. So just
Mm-hmm.
doing it at home, you're not going to see those benefits. Mm-hmm. But I don't know the specifics. I'm just almost positive it's something along the lines of a safe harbor act.
So, for instance, if somebody did want to go to this with the objective of making revenue on it and was concerned about that, they could do it under a business name. In other words, they could register their internet connection that's pumping through that router to their business, and if their business is protected by that, then they would have that they could do it safely, effectively, without worrying.
Yeah, and also along the same lines that Nick, that we were talking about earlier today, this would be something good for computer shops. If you have people waiting in the lobby for their system, like you tell them, just wait here an hour and you can have your system. If they're getting online to the wireless, then they will get ads and you'll get money off them sitting there waiting for you to get paid for working on their system too.
Too bad Proctor's not here. He should do that in his shop to make a couple extra bucks a month.
True. Well, he said
he doesn't have a lobby now. He's just
he doesn't. Oh, okay.
But he did say he was going to go back and
he
watch
used to
this
do
episode.
that.
So.
Yeah, he used to do he did the main store on Main Street thing, the repair store, but now he's like an office. I mean, you can walk in, bring your stuff, but there's not really a place to hang out.
I wasn't. I didn't know those details, but I can see what Brantley's saying. For the shops out there like that, this could, I mean, it's not a ton, but every means to mitigate expenses, internet expenses or otherwise, through your consumers are going to hopefully be there anyway. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Cool. So yeah, that's DD-WRT. We're about at our hour time limit. I know Nick wanted to show off some of the drone footage we took at the beach today.
Yeah.
See that while we can here.
It was truly awe-inspiring and very beautiful, and it really pepped up my day. We had a rough day today, changing some things in the back end, and I'll tell you, it really made the difference for me seeing that. I know it's a small thing, a non-technical thing, but sometimes we have to worry about our mental health as well. So.
You haven't even seen the new one yet.
Yeah, we actually went out onto the beach and did this one. So.
Oh wow! Well, that's even more impressive.
Hey, I gotta order a pizza. I'm gonna start this thing for a minute and let's let this thing roll. All right.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, do I have to do the whole screen? Come on,
Brantley. I like you with your little beard there growing out there. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, no shave November. This is actually the longest it's ever been.
Oh, is that? Oh, that's right. It is November. I should have. Oh crap! I need to grow one. Why don't you guys remind me?
Oh well,
I said it. I started at the beginning. All right.
All right. So y'all, Take it away, B.
Yeah, so actually you're seeing the GPS coordinates there. But yeah, this is at Nag's Head.
I'm driving
Beach.
there with John and Brantley to the right, and then that is Jade and Johnny, right?
Yep.
In the
Jade and
foreground.
Johnny got into the water. Me and John weren't going into the water.
It's
But
cool,
here
right?
we go straight out over into the water. I think I go about 1,000 feet out. And then we turn around. But yeah, this is going out into the ocean. Farther than you would want to swim.
So is that an accurate barometric reading there?
I don't know what that means.
The barometer, 3.8, 4.0?
I think it's meters, so. Or maybe it's feet. No, because at this time it was 29 feet in the air.
No, I think that's not. Okay, is that what that is? I thought it was barometric pressure.
I don't know.
It is the barometric pressure.
Yeah.
So there's us staying on the beach. Yeah, and right now we're about 28 feet in the air. And let's see what we end up doing here.
Oh, what's that?
There we go.
Man, I'm gonna order that pizza in just a minute. I swear.
Okay. And this part, we're checking out the sunset. Trying to get a picture of that. And there's us on the beach. Oh, this is where I'm showing Nick how to fly it. So now Nick's got control. There's Nick in his classic Hawaiian shirt there.
So when it gets erratic and goes crazy, now we know.
Yeah, this is Nick flying.
Woo! Wow, that's a good shot, though. I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time, I might add.
Yeah, first time he's ever flown a drone.
Like a pro, though, so it really doesn't require much training.
It really does not. Like, you play around with it for 5 minutes and you pretty much get the hang of it.
Wow, that's impressive. So I kind of always thought that, the particular military servicemen who were, piloting the drones, that they, it might be how trained or skilled do they have to be? Apparently not a whole lot, right?
No, for the military ones, I imagine not at all. But for this one, it doesn't take a lot to start off. Like, if you start, you can pretty much pick it up and go. Like, it takes off for you, it lands for you, and the controls are really simple. But the more you fly it, the better you get at more advanced actions, like
Gotcha.
doing a circle around of somebody, or knowing where you're flying and pointing the camera and things like that.
Landing on a moving target.
Yeah, maybe one day. Yeah, you can get a lot more advanced as far as what kind of actions and things you can do.
When do you fire the weapons?
I think that's towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually I was on a naval base here recently, and I didn't really care about getting shot of the aircraft carrier or anything like that. I just wanted to get a shot of the city that we were at night and the Bay Area, and just get some footage of that. So we happened to be waiting on the naval base, so I went up to one of the guards there and was like, "Hey, is it all right if I fly my drone?" And they were like, "Not right here. There's a big baseball field down the road there. You can go fly it there." Still on the naval base, by the way. So I was like, all right, cool. I just wanted to make sure you guys weren't going to shoot it out of the air or anything. And they were like, yeah, we don't shoot things in the air. They might shoot back. So I was like, all right, cool. So I go down and I'm getting things set up at the baseball field to start flying it. And
Notice the size of Nag's Head, by the way. There. Yeah.
Then I get a phone call from Johnny, and she's like, "Have you flown the drone yet?" And I was like, not yet. I was getting ready to turn it on. She was like, don't. They're coming to tell you not to. So, yeah, so they pulled up and they were like, dude, you can't fly a drone on a naval base. What were you thinking? I was like,
You asked.
yeah, I asked. That's what I was thinking. He was like, yeah, no, terrorists, can't do that. So I was like, all right, not a big deal. Don't mind. So,
But I really think that they should have maybe disciplined that person that told you that it was okay.
yeah. No, I definitely think somebody ended up scrubbing some bathrooms with a toothbrush after that.
Ooh, I hope not that bad, but okay. Yeah. I guess if that's the way they do it. Wow. Well, that was
Howdy,
that
folks.
was a fun experience there.
So, this guy that we're talking to here actually, he recognized that it was a Phantom 3 and wanted us to see it, and so he could take a picture of it and show it to his friend. And this is when I take back over and we just take it straight up in the air so that we can get some good shot video footage of it.
Oh man, this is awesome.
Yeah, we go to about 1,000 feet up in the air here. So again, this is Nags Head, North Carolina, on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and that means that we're on an island, the Barrier Islands as they're called.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be able to see, you got the Atlantic Ocean over here on the right side, and over in the left, and you'll see more of it, is the Pamlico Sound.
That's the there's the Albemarle on the top and a Roanoke on the south of the bridge.
Okay, so Pamlico is further south, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's looking straight down on us from 1,000 feet in the air.
Where the barometric is 316.
What does that mean?
I don't
It's the
think
pressure.
Well,
Yeah, it
Like the
means
higher, it's the
it
higher,
feels barometric out there. Very much so.
like the higher you go, the more pressure there is. That's why your ears pop when you go up the mountain.
Thank you.
Hold on a second. It's atmospheric pressure, barometric and atmospheric pressure, the same thing. The pressure exerted by the weight of the atmosphere, which at sea level has a mean value of 101,325 pascals, roughly 14.7 pounds per square inch, roughly, or 14.6959.
So yeah, Johnny's explanation made it understandable.
Yeah, I guess, but there's a little bit more to it. Hold on a second.
So you can see how small the barrier islands get there. You can see the sound and the ocean right on the same side.
the big sand splot there. That's a Jockey's Ridge. That's the biggest sand dune on the east coast, I believe.
Yep, and that's where the Wright brothers flew the first plane
yes,
from.
the Bluthers.
Bluthers.
Okay. On a given plane, low pressure areas have less atmospheric mass above their location, whereas high pressure areas.
Moved
It was actually a bit north. It was actually in Kitty Hawk where the Wright brothers did their thing. Although the memorial is in Kill Devil Hills, I hadn't figured that out.
God, if only they could see the drone today. Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, how weirdly
appropriate is it flying the drone
proud,
here?
wouldn't he, Tank?
Yeah. What was that?
Is Tank here?
No.
I just said Bruce Dickinson would be proud because we're doing the flight thing on the beach where the first flight was.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Hey, Nick, can you go back towards the beginning of it when I do the fast shoot up and down the... Yeah, there we go. So this one I'm...
Back that up. Here, let's back that up a sec. There we go.
So this one we're just flying straight up and down the beach. That's pretty cool. I haven't actually seen this yet. So.
Looks better on my computer, I'm sure. But by the way, this is an awesome camera on this thing. This looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Undertaker said that looks like meters, like a meters, but the barometer needs to be calibrated to locality. Which, yeah, that's probably true. I didn't set anything like that, so.
Probably a variance, but there's probably a certain tolerance,
point,
without a calibration.
Well, my Motorola Zoom tablet did have a barometer on it, and I never ended up actually being able to use it because I could never figure out how to set it locally, because it did matter. Like, you have to add some adjustments for where you are. And, like, you have to, like, check your weather channel or weather in the newspaper and find out, like, what the difference is. And I don't know. It was too much to deal with, so I was like, whatever.
Oh, they're being swept out with the tide. Your wife and girlfriend are being swept out with the tide.
Man, that's cold. Actually, the water wasn't cold. They said it was coming out of the water.
It wasn't cold in the water.
Yeah.
What's written there on the beach?
See this.
What's written there on the beach?
25.
25.
Why? Who did that?
Who knows? We'll have to figure it out, or some advanced civilization's going to have to figure it out.
Only Robert Stack.
Yeah, like that will be there the next year, by the way.
They'll have pictures of it, don't worry.
And there we go.
Hey, that was a surfer. You just barely caught the surfer.
Undertaker.
So he was. Can you fly that through like a tunnel, like a surf, and get it like?
No,
Doubt it.
I cannot. Undertaker said it's close enough for playing around with, and he uses an aviation source for the MSL info, mean sea level information.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Look at that. Wow at Undertaker's expertise just in the. Wow, and look at that view. Oh my. That's incredible. You don't get to see that from the land with the.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, man.
So that is our show for tonight. Hope everyone had a good Friday and week, and
in the year 2525. Oh, that is a song! Thank you, Glenn. In the year 2525.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Good call. Good call.
Sorry, go ahead, B.
Yeah, no worries. So, yeah, we are at the end of the show, and get a viewing for Saturday AM. What does that mean?
I think he wants the show to come on tomorrow, too.
Oh, well, we appreciate that. Thank you.
Probably specifically with drone footage.
Yeah, I might do that. Actually, if you follow my YouTube page, Board369 or Board as Hellion, I'll post some of my stuff in there. Let me see if I can actually post the link here for it.
He did. I am insanely wanting one of those, especially because of where I am. I did not realize it was that beautiful.
Yeah, it truly is. Yeah, you don't quite get the same perspective from the ground.
And I don't even leave the house normally, so I don't get any perspective.
I think he was meaning that it's Saturday morning there.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, he's in Australia.
That explains it. Yeah, that explains it. Yeah.
Of course, who wants to see our mugs on the week?
Listen, I gotta go. Speaking of that pizza, I've had pizza sitting here for an hour that I haven't eaten. So
away.
I'm gonna eat that. So.
Go away. Later, Michael.
Thank you. Have a good
Later,
evening.
Michael.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alright, so I also posted my YouTube channel in there. I actually have the first drone flight I did over my hometown at night. So if you want to check that out, you can look at it there. I'll also post some more videos as I take them. I played with it in the mountains so far, and now at the beach. So I have a couple video footages.
And you have my permission to post us on the YouTubes with the drone footage, by the way.
All right, all of it, even the stuff we did earlier.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah. My house. No, don't post my house.
Yeah, I didn't think so on that one. I wasn't going to do that one.
Be like the Barbara Streisand thing.
All right. So that's our show for this week. Next week we have a few things already planned out. Monday we're going to talk about some different topics on how we can help our customers and improve their business and stuff.
And stuff.
Yeah, and stuff. And Tuesday, Michael is going to follow up his laptop purchasing options with a desktop purchasing options. Wednesday, we're going to probably get some more details on some of the stuff that we spitball about on Monday. Thursday, I think we're going to do Proctor's PC repair tracker, his follow-up there. And Friday, since we didn't get to do the router purchasing options for Tank, we'll probably go ahead and get into that next Friday. So we got a week planned out here, and yeah. So join us next week for those. Monday at 8, Tuesday at 10, Wednesday at 2, Thursday at 4, and Friday at 6. All Eastern Standard Times, AM to PM, going through the week. And definitely be sure to check us out on foolishtechshow.com. You can join our IRC chat, talk with us there. Foolishit.com/live, same place. And
foolishtechshow.com.
Yeah. And
foolishnit.com/live is a redirect also. So, all right.
And again, these show contents that we're offering is just stuff to go over. If you have any questions about our tools or software, or want to talk to us specifically, like you've seen in the chat, we'll definitely talk with you. So join our chat there and talk with us, and we'll pick up and go from there. And we will see you guys and internets and gals next week, Monday at 8.
Some other time. Bye.
Have a great weekend.